Welcome back to the Kanye quest. As we mentioned before, no actual quest this week, just more of mixtape because we have to cover some other things. And we wanted to make sure
stuff to do.
We wanted to get through everything. But where we left off, late registration, Kanye drops his second studio album to critical acclaim, and we both really enjoyed it. He took what made College Dropout so good, but then just added this huge, grandiose production with a bunch of brass, a bunch of strings to it, and it made a great album that wasn't as good as the original College Dropout, but it was still a lot of fun. But right after Late Registration came out in September 2005, NBC broadcast a concert for hurricane relief, and West was a featured speaker, so this was right after Hurricane Katrina.
George Bush hates black people.
And he took the words right out of my mouth. Kanye West was presenting along Mike Myers, and then he said the alleged words, George Bush doesn't care about black people. This was Kanye's first controversy. That's why I concluded on this, and it's touched upon a bit on Can't Tell Me Nothing. But he got a lot of flack for it just because of this random moment. And if you can find the clip somewhere on YouTube, it's the funniest fucking thing.
I think this is the descent into madness.
No, I think it's the descent into
This is the beginning.
meanness.
This is the beginning.
This is when Kanye just got bored.
He was on live TV.
But it's just I love Mike Myers' reaction to it. I love Shrek's reaction to it. So this was soon followed up in January 2006 when he posed for Rolling Stones wearing a crown of thorns looking like Jesus Christ. And just some crazy article about him that was absolutely strange. Then he went on tour with U2 for the Vertigo tour, and at the time, Wes actually liked the sound of U2, and it inspired him to make basically stadium bangers. That's what Wes was going for in his next project, Graduation, and he just wanted to make these huge hip hop tracks that were very similar to rock tracks that you could sing along to. They're a lot of fun. They were meant to be played in the stadium and for everyone singing along to, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to make these songs for large arenas, and for this album, West wanted to incorporate synthesizers and utilize slower tempos, and he experimented with electronic music, and he was influenced from rock music and music of the 1980s and Daft Punk and essentially all that jazz. And Can't Tell Me Nothing, the official mixtape, is essentially Graduation's version of I'm Good and Get Well Soon. It's just a mixtape. It's more of a compilation of a bunch of work from a bunch of different artists, that, including Kanye West himself, that is just meant to build up hype. There's some original material on here. There's some material that was going to be on Graduation, and there's just some material from the likes of Talib Kweli and T-Pain and Sa-Ra and Lil Wayne and 88 Keys,
Common,
Consequence,
and Common again, and Big Sean,
and oh my god, don't even mention me. Let's talk about
Neo.
But overall, I gotta say, out of all of Kanye West's mixtapes, Get Well Soon, I'm Good, and Can't Tell Me Nothing. Can't Tell Me Nothing's obviously the best. I actually enjoyed listening to this one overall. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of time capsule from this period, especially with Kanye West production, because a lot of the production on this, pretty much all the production on this sounds the same. And going from a lot of the same soulful, slowed down hip-hop tracks soulful sped up trip hop tracks, that style of production that Kanye was doing at the time, moving on to this more synthetic, sped up sampling style, I thought was a lot of fun. I like the introduction with Friday Morning, May 25th, which is essentially Kanye just being bonkers. At this point, he's full meme. He's full traditional Kanye we know him as today, just this complete just menace, or not menace, but there's this weirdo that's a lot of fun, and you love hearing him talk. I love that you get a snippet of Stronger, then he cuts it off and just starts talking about random shit.
Pretty much.
We get we get this weird track by Child Rebel Soldier, which was supposed to be a collaboration of Pharrell Williams, Lupe Fiasco, and Kanye West that just never really surfaced except for this one track.
That's a little disappointing, I think.
But literally, this Us Placers track, it samples like Eraser, I think that's the name of the track, by Radiohead, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning how this track goes. I can't explain it. It's very synthetic. The style Kanye was going for at the time, but I think it's actually produced by Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah.
Fiasco. But it's fantastic. Everyone flows well together. Everyone has unique quirks, though. Like, Lupe Fiasco is a different rapper from Pharrell, and Kanye's doing his own different things, so they're all kind of doing their own things, but, like, they all fit very well over the style. Like, Lupe Fiasco, Pharrell, that's, like, their style. Kanye kind of moving on to that style, because, like, Pharrell's always been over the synthetic. Lupe's kind of always been over the synthetic. He's not really been for the soulful. And Kanye kind of transitioning to the style fits over really well, and everyone kind of complements each other. Pharrell dropping some fucking like nasty verse. I think in the end Kanye is one of the weakest lyricists on the track, but how can you compete with Lupe Fiasco and Pharrell? They're like on their A game on this track. This is like Lemon level Pharrell Williams, like just on his shit. But yeah, I think that track's absolutely lovely, and I haven't heard it before this mixtape because I knew of Child Rebel Soldier, but I didn't listen to that track, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. It demonstrates Kanye's sampling style, even though, again, he didn't really, Lupe Fiasco produced this track, but sampling these strange things, sampling rock music, sampling Tom York. Like, that's something that era Kanye would do. He would sample, like, we're going to talk about Graduation next week. He sampled, like, what is it? Can. He sampled Elton John, like...
More modern artists.
More modern, I would say, rock music than anything else. He doesn't really sample a lot of hip-hop or, like, R&B or soul like he did on College Dropout and Late Registration. It's more just rock music, which I think is why I enjoy this Graduation as one of my favorite Kanye albums, just because I like a lot of the samples. I like how the samples incorporate on that album. Okay, so what other amazing tracks do we have on this album? Can't Tell Me Nothing, which we'll get into more next week. One of Kanye's best tracks. We sung it at the beginning of this podcast. It's one of his catchiest tracks, hands down. One of his most lyrically fun, one of his most, I would say, stylized as an individual. Like, you get a sense of who, like, the persona of Kanye West. Just being absolutely bonkers and a lot of fun. The fucking production behind it, the whoa, is great. Like, I
always have a good time with that one.
It's when I woke up, when I had a dream, I bought my way to heaven. When I woke up, I bought my way to heaven. Common, who comes through with actually a couple decent tracks that were produced by Kanye West and are of this era of sampling that Kanye was doing. I really enjoy Southside, The People, The Game, which actually has this, it flows into this interlude that Kanye does afterwards, where he's talking about like going to a strip club and getting porn and not wanting to be at strip club because they'll take away his NWACP award, which I thought was really funny. The interludes on this are like some of the funniest fucking moments.
Really funny.
I just enjoy Kanye's persona on this more than like anything else. Like, these interludes tie everything together, and they have like Kanye's like talking at the beginning of tracks, like on Pro Nails, where he's talking about how he was put on this Kid Sisters track. He's almost doing like commentary for this track, which I think is really, really nice. And it's just not a Kid Sister track. It's Kanye coming and introducing the track, then we get into the track, which is nice. And it all flows really well. I enjoyed the track Stay Up with 88 Keys, which with Kanye and Malik Yusuf. Kanye actually references his future wife Kim Kardashian in the track, which I thought was pretty funny. And it just flows well into the next track, In the Mood, with Talib Kweli, which is just another amazing moment. Something that took me by surprise on this, the track Young Folks.
I love that.
I didn't know this track existed before.
It's a lot of fun.
It samples Peter Bjorn and John's track Young Folks, And it's completely stupid. Like, Kanye should not be over the sample.
Yeah, he should.
It seems like something Lil Yachty would do today. Like, it seems like Lil Yachty, like, era sampling, just taking something completely stupid.
Doesn't that tell you something, though?
Yeah, that Yachty takes influence from Kanye. Like,
that a lot of artists do.
Like, we already kind of knew that, but, like, it's completely stupid. He talks about his Rolling Stone cover. You get into the interviews, interlude, where he talks about, people take his words out of context, or people don't understand that he's kind of like joking or being kind of tongue-in-cheek, which I thought was really fun. They talk about
after his recent TV debacle.
They talk about his Rolling Stone cover, and George Bush doesn't care about white people or black people. And then finally, another moment that took me by surprise, a Consequence track that was produced by Kanye, Don't Forget 'Em, which is just very almost like modern era, like pop rap track.
It's almost like sampling lounge music, it sounds like.
Yeah, is this really playful, really fun? Consequence just sounds really nice over it. Like the flute sample that's put throughout it. I do not like the drum, the instrumental breakdown at the last 10 seconds. I think that kind of like ruins the track a little bit. But like, I think it's just like Consequence has a really solid performance on it. And it will stand out as like one of my favorite moments from these mixtapes, just of other people's music. What do I not like on this compilation? Big Sean, Get You Some. He sounds like a dollar store Lupe Fiasco. And this was from like one of Big Sean's earliest mixtapes. And I don't know what Kanye saw in him. And the production's bad.
Saw a good heart. And a good personality.
He still hasn't learned how to rap. He didn't know how to rap back then. Still doesn't know how to rap now. Farnsworth Bentley, Colors featuring Pimp C and Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has a non-existent performance, which is bad. You should either think Lil Wayne is the most annoying person on the track or just the dumbest. And on this, he's just not there. Like, I should either be, like, pissed off because he's in existence or just be, like, laughing about how much fun he is. But, like, on this, I'm just, like, indifferent to him. I'm just like, oh, he's there. He just doesn't really have a stage of like a Lil Wayne personality. He's not super goofy. He's not super fun, or he's not like just bad. It's just like he's just not there. It seems like Sarah White on the floor, just disgusting electronic beat, just nasty vocals from Sarah. In the end, it's just like one of the worst tracks from like any of these like mixtapes that Kanye released, any of these compilations. And then finally, PM Hater Family. It just like ends. It ends this mixtape. And Kanye doesn't like set up this track or anything. It just ends. This is the one track that closes it off. Because usually all the previous tracks, Kanye has closed them off with something, with some of his work.
Yeah.
And on this, it just ends. And it kind of left me confused on why that was the closer to this. But overall, this is like my favorite mixtape out of the three.
It's more diverse. I think it's more interesting.
And there's moments that afterwards, I'm gonna go back to a couple of those common tracks. I'm gonna go back to the Consequence track. I'm gonna go back to that Talib Kweli track. There's moments I'm gonna go back that aren't just Kanye's moments, but still, even just the Kanye moments. Young Folks, all the stupid interludes, Us Placers, which is just exclusive to that, like one of like just a fantastic moment I didn't know about until now. And yeah, like there's some like good shit on here. I think not even for Kanye fans, I think you should check this out because I think it is a lot of fun. I did personally really enjoy this mixtape. Is it better than any of the other mixtapes? Yes, but is it better than any of studio albums so far? No. Will it be better than some of his previous later studio albums? I don't think so. Like, there's one in my mind that I can think of that can maybe be better than, but even then, I'm unsure if it'll be able to beat that, because I think that one actually, there's like a difference in quality there. But yeah, I do like this mixtape. I think it is his best, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So the current ranking: Get Well Soon, I'm Good, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Late Registration, College Dropout. Do you have any differences?
No, I think that's pretty much the same for me.
Well, we're gonna leave it there. Until next time, have a Yeezy day. Can you think of a better outro?
Thank you. No.
Is that the outro for all? For all our Kanye quests now?
I hope you have a Yeezy day.
Kanye bless. Yeezy best. Yeezus bless.
Yeezy's best.
Yeezy's best. Hope when she in the street, give her Yeezy's best. I made that bitch famous.